Hello everyone, I Shagufta Shaikh from B.Ed first semester studying in KLE Society's College of Education Vidyanagar, Hubballi under the guidelines by Dr. Anil G. Gamgolso. Subject Language across the subject. Topic is on communication and its barrier. Communication. Meaning of communication. Communication is the process of sending and receiving the message through verbal or non verbal. Communication is said to be the creation and exchange of meaning. Proper communication is essential between sender and receiver. A meaningful communication is essential in society. Life remains meaningless without proper communication. Definition of communication. According to William Newman and Charles, communication is an exchange of ideas, facts, opinions, of emotions of two or more persons. According to Peter Little, communication is the process by which information is transmitted between individual or organization so that an understanding response results. Coming to the communication process. How communication process works. Sender, encoding, message, decoding, receiver, last, feedback. Sender. Communicator is the originator of communication process. The thoughts or the ideas are put into the words to make another person understand. Communicator is called as a sender or coder. Encoding as transforming an abstract into a communicable message. This is done using words, symbols, pictures, sounds. Message. Message is the subject matter of communication. It is what the communicator wants to communicate. The information sent by the sender is called message. Decoding. The receiver interpreting the message and coming to an understanding what the resource is communicating. Receiver. The person who received the message is known as receiver. Last, that is feedback, which plays a very important role. If the communication is to be effective, it should contain an element of action, reaction, response, and feedback. One-way communication will not have any feedback. Two-way communication, feedback is essential. Barriers to communication. First barrier is physical barriers. In that, loud noise. The loud sound disturbs like music, vehicles, crowds. The noise of factories and industries also create disturbance. Second, defect in the media or channel. If the message is sent is having defect and unsuitable, the message not be sent properly and the communication between sender and receiver fails. Time pressure. Pressure of time is that to complete the syllabus with within a given time will create frustration between the sender and the receiver. Hence, communication process became ineffective. Second is psychological barriers. In that, inadequate attention. Attention means to listen carefully with interest. If there is a distraction in attention, the sender and receiver lost interest in the communication. Hence, the process of communication adequate attention is must. Emotional problem. If emotions like thinking, beliefs, values, theories, and principle between sender and receiver fails to mention proper communication, it leads to psychological barriers. Unpleasant information. If the information in the communication process between sender and receiver is unpleasant, it creates conflict or tension. Coming to the third, that is individual barriers. Fear of communication. If the sender and receiver have the fear of communication between each other, the communication process is incomplete and will not convey the message properly. Lack of faith. If the sender and receiver do not have faith on each other, having jealousy affects on the communication process, which leads to lack of faith. So, to overcome, that is, remedies to overcome barriers of communications are: be aware of language, tone, and content of message. Communicate according to the need of receiver. Listening skills to be developed. Proper planning. Clarity and completeness. Communicating is in a location that is free from of distraction, which helps to overcome the barriers in communication. Quote relating to the communication. Communication is one of the important skill you require for the successful life. The conclusion of my topic is working on improving your communication is a broad bunch activity. You have to change your thoughts, your feelings, and your physical connections. That way, you can break down the barriers that get in your way and start building relationships that really work. Thank you.